Hi, everyone. I'm Bianna Golodriga, and this is Yahoo News Live. Does Donald Trump have skeletons in his closet wearing, quote, cement galoshes? Michael Isikoff is Yahoo's chief investigative correspondent and has been digging into Trump's alleged past mob connections. Michael, great to see you. Thanks for joining us. Great piece that you have out now about Donald Trump and one of his connections, at least. As we know, of course, he's connected to the hotel industry. Many hotels have casinos attached to them. Linking gambling in the mob is not something that's very far-fetched, but you were able to link Donald Trump to one particular high roller with ties to the mob, correct?
Yeah, pretty fascinating character by the name of Robert Labuddy, who was, back in the late 80s, early 90s, the biggest customer at Trump's Atlantic City Trump Plaza casino. Guy who would bet millions of dollars at the casino. He had a pretty interesting background. He was a horse breeder. Rather well known. He also had ties to mafia boss John Gotti and ultimately got banned from New Jersey casinos because of his connections to Gotti. He referred to him at one point as my boss. But where this really became a problem for Trump was that he also had an explosive temper and was quite vile in his language, particularly about African Americans and women, cursed them out in horrific fashion. And as a result, the Trump Plaza, rather than kicking Labuddy out of the hotel, removed blacks and women from his crap tables so that he would not have to be exposed to blacks and women. This resulted in an investigation by the New Jersey Casino Control Commission and a fine of $200,000 against the Trump Plaza for violating state anti-discrimination laws.
Yeah, and it's interesting because this comes at a time where when Donald Trump says that he loves women, he treats women very well at his corporation, and obviously he said that he would be the best president for African Americans and minorities. So when you hear these allegations in this past lawsuit, that is kind of alarming. In a statement to Yahoo News, Trump said through a spokeswoman, quote, "During the years I very successfully ran the casino businesses. I knew many high rollers. I assumed Mr. Labuddy was one of them, but I don't recognize the name." Mr. Labuddy, however, his daughter describes it quite differently to you, though. She said, quote, "He's a liar. Of course he knew him. I flew in the Trump helicopter with Trump's then-wife, Ivana, and the kids. My dad flew it up and down to Atlantic City. My 35th birthday party was at the plaza, and Donald was there after the party. We went on his boat, his big yacht." And she said, "I like Trump, but it pisses me off that he denies knowing my father. That really hurts me." Talk about what a relationship he actually had with this figure while telling you and others that he barely knew him.
Well, it's not only the daughter, although, the daughter's comments were quite fascinating, and she had some very vivid recollections of being with her father and Donald Trump. But also, I tracked down a guy by the name of Jack O'Donnell, who was the president of the Trump Plaza Hotel at the time. Back in 1991, he wrote a book about Trump in which he described in detail a scene on Trump's helicopter in which Trump agreed to pay $500,000 for a racehorse from a horse broker who was a high roller at the Trump Plaza. O'Donnell didn't name that horse broker in the book, but when I tracked him down last week, he said, yes, that was Bob Labuddy. Bob Labuddy was the seller of the horse to Donald Trump. Now, the story gets quite interesting because after that, Donald Trump changes the name of the horse, originally Alibi, to DJ Trump, but the deal blows up because the horse gets lame from illness and Trump pulls out of the deal. But it's further evidence supporting what Labuddy's daughter says, which is they indeed had a relationship. And furthermore, we also obtained the full transcript of an undercover New Jersey police tape of a conversation between LaBuddy and the top casino executive for Trump in Atlantic City, in which there are multiple references by LaBuddy to conversations he was having with Donald Trump.
So you found multiple examples linking the two, even though Donald Trump initially said that he vaguely remembers this gentleman and that there are many high rollers, what have you. I guess the question is, will this have an impact with voters? He said similar things just in the past week or so about David Duke and the KKK, however, doesn't seem to have impacted him in the polls. Will these alleged ties to someone who was linked to the mob hurt him, do you think?
You know, look, it's very hard to say. Certainly Trump has not been hurt by things that statements he's made, positions he's taken, disclosures about his past that would have sunk many other candidates. So whether this is going to move the needle or not, who knows? But there is a sense that there's a lot about Donald Trump's past that we still don't know, that people haven't really dug into, and I think this is lifting a lid on a window into Donald Trump's world that is going to be getting a lot more examination.
And the question is, I guess, does this matter at all to his supporters and those who are turning out in droves to vote for him? We shall see. But once again, a wonderful piece, Mike Isikoff, a great investigative journalism as always.
Thank you, Bianca.
Thank you. And we always look forward to hearing what you have to say. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter at Bianca Golodriga and use hashtag Yahoo Live to let us know what you think about Michael's article about Donald Trump's ties to a mob-linked gambler. Thanks so much for watching.